Hey everybody, thanks for joining me at Fil-Am, Fil-Fam, Destination Philippines. So I've been researching the Philippines a lot and just coming across a lot of cool videos. I want to learn everything I can about the culture before I get there. And I came across this one, 14 reasons the Philippines is different from the rest of the world. So let's see what we got.
What if I told you there is a country where over 175 languages are spoken, people text more than anywhere else in the world, and boxing fights directly influence crime rates? It sounds pretty much unbelievable, but it's all true in the Philippines. 14. There are more than 175 spoken languages. There are two official languages in the Philippines: Filipino, based on Tagalog, and English. Filipino is the most commonly spoken and pop culture language, and the government of the country uses English in their work.
That's one of the reasons that the Philippines is a popular retirement destination for Americans, because all the street signs, most of the signs, and all the government paperwork's in English. So it makes it easier for foreigners to come to the Philippines and be able to get around and take care of their immigration paperwork and everything. And I think my mom told me that she started learning English when she was in first grade. And my mom speaks Tagalog, but there's a bunch of different dialects, and I guess there's three main languages: Tagalog, Cebuano, and then I forget the third one that's used mostly in the southernmost island of Mindanao and that region. But most of my family speaks Tagalog.
By the way, the Philippines are number 5 on the list of the world's top English-speaking populations after US, India, Pakistan, and the UK. All this sounds pretty plain and ordinary, but in fact, the diverse linguistic groups living in the country use over 175 languages for their internal communication. Since many of them exist only in spoken form, it's impossible to calculate the exact amount.
Ilongo.
13. Their capital is the most densely populated city in the
See, I just heard about that. I had no idea that it was the most densely populated city in the world. And it only has like a square mileage of like 16 square miles. So there's a lot of people working and living in Manila. But they have like a lot of high-rise condos and high-rise apartment buildings and stuff like that. So that was news to me when I heard this. But I've also seen pictures of traffic in Manila where it's just bumper to bumper to bumper. That's one thing. When I move to Philippines, I'm not driving. I'm having one of my cousins or just taking grab cars and taxis everywhere I go.
world. The nation's capital, Manila, and its 16 surrounding cities that make up the Metro Manila area have a population of 12.8 million people. During the daytime, this number gets way higher since many people come here to work. And while the number doesn't sound that crazy, take note that all these people live and work in an area of 16.56 square miles. This makes the population density equal to 111,002 people per square mile. And that's 5 times higher than in Mumbai or Paris, for example. 12. They have churches in shopping malls. Shopping malls aren't merely a place where you buy stuff for Filipinos. They are safe, air-conditioned community hubs with gyms, health clinics, concert halls, nightclubs, parks, and even churches inside.
They also have grocery stores in the shopping malls, which, I've never seen that before. I've never seen a grocery store in a shopping mall before. Because like here in Phoenix, we have Fry's and Sprouts and a couple of different ones, and it's always their own building. You know what I mean? I've never seen a grocery store in a shopping mall before, but in Manila or in Philippines, it's like that too.
So it's no surprise that they are the favorite place to meet up with friends for so many locals. And 3 of the world's 10 largest shopping malls are located in the Philippines. They are Mega Fashion Mall of SM Mega Mall, SM City North EDSA, and SM Mall of Asia. 11. Filipinos are the #1 texting nation in the world.
I can definitely attest to that. My ex-girlfriend, she was Filipina. She's constantly on her phone. Even when we were out to dinner or whatever, on a date, she'd always be on her phone. And it's like, it got a little annoying because, come on, we're on a date. We're eating. Put your phone away. This is our time. You know what I mean? But it's part of the culture.
World. You already know Filipinos love meeting up with friends at shopping malls, and when they can't see each other in person, they text. And when they do it, they rarely limit it to, "Hey, how are you?" In fact, they send about 400 million texts a day, and that's around 142 billion texts a year. It's more than the US and Europe put together. Not exactly a little number for a country of 107 million people. 10. They have a unique form of transportation. If you visit Manila, you'll notice some interesting looking vehicles called jeepneys.
I've been in a jeepney before. When I went to Philippines, I think it was 1987 or 1988 when my Lola passed. I forget where we were going or whatever. But yeah, I was in one of these. In fact, it was like a red one too. And I remember my mom gave me the change to give to the driver. And there's a little window cut out that, he puts his hand and everybody gives the money for the ride. So it's cool. And plus, like, they're open air transportation. So you got the wind blowing in your hair and, you can see all the sights and smells of the city. It was cool. So I've been in a jeepney.
They are converted U.S. Army Jeeps that stayed in the country after World War II. Filipinos adapted them to transport up to 18 passengers who jump on the jeepney going in their direction and ring the bell for it to stop. There are about 50,000 jeepneys in Manila, and they all look different, with basketball stars, cartoon characters, inspirational quotes, neon lights, and whatnot on them. There are two major problems with jeepneys: safety concerns and pollution. They produce huge amounts of black smoke. So hurry up if you want to ride before they get replaced with a rapid transit system. 9. One of the islands has more volcanoes than towns.
Yeah, the Philippines is located right on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where I guess it's like a Teutonic plate or something. And so there's lots of volcanic activity all around the Pacific. And I think the Philippines, kind of like Hawaii, was like founded or created from volcanic ash and stuff like that, I guess.
The Philippines are, without a doubt, a super scenic location. Among all the islands that are a part of it, Camiguin sure stands out, with more volcanoes per square mile than any other island on the planet. The island is 14 miles long and 8.5 miles wide, and has 7 volcanoes and 5 towns. And even though earthquakes and eruptions shaped it, volcanoes have been deep asleep since the 50s, so thousands of tourists can safely visit the island these days. 8. Their national flag has a secret meaning. The national flag of the Philippines has 2 bands of blue and scarlet, and a white triangle at the hoist with a yellow sun and 8 rays, each of them standing for one province of the country. The yellow stars stand for the 3 largest island groups: Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. What makes the flag really unique is that it can be reversed to declare a state of war. This happened during the Filipino Revolutionary War of 1898 to 1901 and during World War II in 1941 to 1945.
Also on the national seal of the country of the Philippines is the American bald eagle and the Spanish lion, kind of paying homage to the other main influences in the country.
7. Boxing directly affects crime rates in the country. Filipinos love boxing and are crazy about their most famous boxer, Manny Pacquiao. Whenever he fights, the whole country is glued to its TV sets. And according to the Philippine National Police, PNP, crime rates in the country drop significantly when he's in the ring. During his 12-round fight against American boxer Floyd Mayweather Jr. that went from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., not a single crime was committed in the whole Manila metropolitan area. It was basically the same during other major fights with the...
Can you imagine that? No country no crime in the most densely populated city of that country because of the love of a national hero. That's one thing that I think the United States is missing out on. We don't have anything that brings us all together. It's nothing but division nowadays. But look at here. The whole country watches one of their national heroes participate, in a sporting match.
Participation of the people's champ, Manny Pacquiao. 6. A lot of Filipinos work abroad. It might be because of their flexible and reliable character, or the fact that they speak great English as a second language. But more than 11 million Filipinos...
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the biggest advantages that Filipino workers have is that they learn English from a young age. And like my ex, she had a friend who sponsored a teacher here in Phoenix, so she was able to come from Philippines to here in Phoenix to work as a teacher. And also when I was living in Virginia, my ex-wife was a nurse, and when she did her internship at one of the hospitals in Virginia, all the nurses were Filipino too.
Filipinos work abroad. It's around 11% of the population, and a quarter of all overseas nurses in the world come from the Philippines. 5. Their rice terraces are the 8th wonder of the world. Banawa rice terraces are the oldest in the world, and were so...
See, I've seen pictures of these rice terraces or something similar. I thought it was all in China, but I mean, I'm sure some of them were, but I had no idea it was like this in the Philippines.
Smartly designed that they still bring a harvest of rice and vegetables, most of which get exported. And it is believed if all the terraces had been built end to end, they would stretch halfway around the world. Today, these places bring the country more money as a tourist destination than rice plantations, and thus they play an important role for the economy of the Philippines. 4. They produce a lot of coconuts.
My mom was telling me a story about how she saw a little kid, a girl I think, and she was like 11 or 12, scale up a coconut tree with a machete and hacking down coconuts. I want to see that when I get there.
For years, the Philippines had been the #1 producer of coconuts in the world. And even though the leadership now belongs to Indonesia, 153,532,000 tons per year is still an impressive number, isn't it? These coconuts are used to make anything from clothing to beauty products. 3. The first European to visit the Philippines was Ferdinand Magellan. The legendary explorer made the first record of the archipelago among the Europeans in 1521. He founded the first settlement in Cebu, and thus most of the area became a Spanish colony.
And legend has it that during the Battle of Mactan against the Filipino chieftain Lapu-Lapu, that Ferdinand Magellan was decapitated and killed during the battle, and then they cannibalized him. They ate him.
This explains the fact that around 90% of the population are Christian, unlike most of the country's neighbors. In 1898, the Philippines went under U.S. rule and later, in 1946, became an independent republic. 2. A Filipino made the first karaoke machine.
It's so true. If you go to a Filipino party, you gotta do karaoke. So this last holiday season, when I was with my ex, every party we went to, you had to do karaoke. And even if it's just like a small dinner party with, maybe 4 or 5 adults, break out the karaoke, It's an absolute mandatory. I've actually been kind of looking into songs that, that I can sing to and sound halfway decent for when I get to the Philippines, because I want to participate in every bit of the culture.
If you love to sing along, you ought to thank Filipinos for your favorite pastime. The first karaoke machine in the world was created in 1975 by Roberto Del Rosario. He patented as the sing-along system, and even though there were some attempts to claim his creation, he still remains the only patent holder for the karaoke system. 1. The population is extremely good-looking. Along with their love for boxing, texting, and shopping, Filipinos are crazy about beauty pageants. It might be the years of American rule that gave them this love for competitive beauty, but the fact remains a fact. They have won in all major international pageants.
I actually met Miss Universe 2021. Her mom lives here in Phoenix, and my ex was friends with her mom. And so when I met her, I knew that she was, Miss Universe, and it was crazy. I mean, it wasn't crazy, but it was really cool because everything about her was beauty queen. Just the way she stood, the way she walked, how she carried herself. You could tell she was totally trained her whole life to be a beauty queen. And she was gorgeous. Absolute knockout.
15 times. There were 4 girls crowned Miss Universe, 1 Miss World, 6 title holders of Miss International, and 4 Miss Earth crowns. The first official pageant was held within the country in 1908, and since 2001, it's not just about beauty, but also for the promotion of environmental protection. Would you like to visit the Philippines? Or maybe you've
Absolutely.
already been there? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to give this video a like, share.
So guys, that was 14 reasons the Philippines is different from the rest of the world. And like a lot of this stuff I had no idea. But you know, until I get there, I'm just going to dive head first and learn everything about the culture and embrace it. And I can't wait to get there. My family is excited for me to get there, and you know, we're going to be together one day. Plus, I'm going to start my own family. So thanks for joining me at Fil-Am, Fil-Fam, Destination Philippines. See y'all next time.